Guilty Gear Strive. Welcome back for another game break, everybody. So Guilty Gear Strive, it's the first Guilty Gear game I've ever played. I've played 2D anime fighters before. I've played other fighting games before as well, but this is very much my first Guilty Gear experience. Why? Because of the visuals, full stop. The visuals are what got me to buy this title. I remember seeing the first few trailers for the game and I thought, oh, the game looks pretty good. I might give it a try. But then I saw Giovanna's character reveal trailer and then I was done. I knew I had to play this game. I had to play as Giovanna at least for a little bit, even if the game turned out not to be very good. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. And the visuals just didn't stop with the first few trailers I watched. Within the game, the combos look good. The supers look really good. Even performing wall breaks on characters, or maybe unfortunately they might be performed on you, and then being able to transition from certain parts of the stage to another. Those looked really good. And even just the transition that would happen from the 3D visuals that would occur when your characters are about to start any given match, and then they transition from that 3D look to the actual 2D look of the fighting gameplay. Frickin' phenomenal. This game did an amazing job visually speaking, and it's one of the prettiest fighting games out there. But as good as the game's visuals can be, and as much as they can maybe get someone to try the game, it's very much the actual core gameplay, obviously, that's going to keep you playing. And Guilty Gear Strive has done that for me for months now. The online combat, my bread and butter. It plays great. The rollback netcode works super well. Very few times am I noticing there's any particularly significant amount of lag in matches. I played so many fighting games in the past where online play can be just absolutely brutal, and Guilty Gear Strive fixes that problem by and large. And all the characters themselves feel particularly unique to play as. And full disclosure, I've been playing pretty much 99% in this game as Giovanna. I have tried some of the other characters. She is just the type of character that I've been really enjoying. But all the other characters, I feel like if I put more time into them, I learn to enjoy them. And even though I haven't played a ton as all these other characters, I fought a ton of them. They're fun to fight against. And the thing with Guilty Gear Strive is I feel like it has one of the most balanced rosters of a fighting game I've ever played. I'm never going up against anyone and thinking like, oh crap, I'm going to lose this for sure because this character just seems like they're overpowered and there's nothing I can do. I always feel like I have a fighting chance against no matter who I'm fighting against. So that is definitely something Strive has going for it. That and the fact that when you're playing online, it does a very good job of keeping you on the same floor or within the same arena of people that are at similar skill levels to you. So it always feels like a challenge, and it never feels like it's too easy or too difficult in most instances. And while Guilty Gear Strive was made to be a game that was more newcomer friendly, and that is obviously reflective in the fact of how many sales it has, a lot of people, this is their first Guilty Gear game. It is still very much a fighting game at its core. And while some of the more complicated systems in the game that you need to master, such as Roman canceling, can be performed easily, it's still going to take a lot of time and effort to get the timing of Roman canceling down, for example, and to just get good at the game. This is not a fighting game where you'll magically be really good because it was designed for newcomers. You are going to have to put in the time and the work to get good at this game. So that is something you definitely need to know. But for myself personally, fighting games, they're almost as bad as MMOs in terms of time sinks. I have spent so many hours in the dojo just trying to get better. Some nights I've been up till just 4 a.m. in the morning. Just getting my dust up air combo down pat, just doing it over and over and over again. And the dojo system makes it really easy to try new combos and to be able to reset the parameters quite easily. So it's just another thing it has going for it. Yes, you're going to have to practice to get good and to fight online a lot to get good, but this game makes it very easy to do so. But while Guilty Gear Strive does make it easy to fight people online because of the good netcode, the one thing that makes it a little bit difficult is the lobby system. This is kind of one of the blunders of Guilty Gear Strive. So the lobby system, it looks cute. You get an avatar and you get to go to essentially stations where you can fight characters. You'll try and fight someone and it just won't connect, or you'll try and position yourself at a particular station so you can fight somebody. It won't be able to register you or connect with you. So sometimes it can just be a real drag getting to play people online. But while you're actually playing them, it usually runs smooth as silk. And then the other big annoyance with Guilty Gear Strive is just that fucking start screen. When you start the game up, you're loading in. oh my gosh, it can take sometimes up to 5 minutes just to get past the damn start screen. That is something they really need to fix because it's just an absolute slog to get past. So if they can just fix that in an upcoming patch, they'll have fixed one of the biggest annoyances of the entire game for me. And then there's Guilty Gear Strive Story Mode, ho doggy. So I did my homework for this one. Wooly Versus on YouTube has a series of Guilty Gear lore videos totaling up to about, I don't know, at least 5-6 hours. Watched them all so I could be fully caught up and understand the story fully before I watched it. And I'm really glad I did that because even though Guilty Gear has an extensive glossary and character mapping system built into the game, I feel like the story would have been pretty hard to understand, particularly with who's who and a lot of the terminology being used and references to past events. But since I did watch those videos, I really did enjoy the story of Guilty Gear Strive. It very much had kind of like Die Hard type feel to it, or maybe like an Air Force One type feel to it. And I really enjoyed it. And because I watched all the lore videos, I understood there were a lot of unanswered questions, and Guilty Gear Strive answered a lot of those questions, so I actually found that quite satisfying. I liked seeing most of the characters in these cool cinematics, talking to each other, fighting with each other. And even though the story I did enjoy, visually speaking, it was pretty good. I did find it a bit janky at times. The characters were moving a bit stiffly, and even when it came to combat, that seemed to be the case. But overall, for a fighting game story, this is one of the ones I enjoyed the most, and I think I would like it if a lot more fighting games did this type of story. I think some of the other ones out there I haven't played do, but very much I would love it if Street Fighter, for example, took this type of storytelling mechanic and just had essentially 9 anime episode length chapters to go through. I just find it would be more cohesive and just more enjoyable in general, instead of having to go through the various arcade modes with every character and then slowly piecing the story together that way. That can be fun, and I do enjoy doing that sometimes. I just enjoy it in one neat package way better. And in terms of audio for the story mode, for example, it was fully voiced, so high production values. It really added to the game's story mode. And in terms of the music playing in the game, Guilty Gear, it's very much a hard rock franchise. Hard rock isn't my favorite genre. I don't really have a favorite genre of music, to be honest, but I haven't listened to a heck of a ton of hard rock. But Guilty Gear, I got used to it. I actually found quite a few tracks I really enjoyed. And I think I can definitely get on board with the fact it is a hard rock franchise for future titles as well. So if you're not a fan of hard rock, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to learn to deal with it because that's pretty much all that's in this game. So for the summary part of the video, for those of you that skipped to the summary, the reason why I started playing this game was because of the visuals, and they stayed top tier for the entire experience. But the reason I stayed playing the game was the awesome combat, particularly online with the rollback netcode. Matches ran incredibly smoothly, barely had a hiccup, and it's just so fun to play people online. And you're always playing people that are of a similar skill level to you because of how Arc System Works constructed the game. And then the third thing, which was a big bonus, I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed learning about the lore, and I enjoyed the game's story mode too, particularly for a fighting game. And then the two big hiccups, I guess, for Guilty Gear Strive, technically speaking, is that goddamn start screen that can take up to 5 minutes to load sometimes. That shit needs to be patched or fixed or something. It's so annoying to just start and play Guilty Gear Strive. It just blows my mind it takes so long to load. And then the other thing is the online lobby system. I don't know really what they can do about that. Sometimes it's on point and I can play people one after the other fairly quickly. Other times I have a hell of a time connecting, so the online lobby system can be very hit or miss. But bottom conclusion, one of the best 2D fighting games I've ever played, and easily the best looking one I've ever played. And as always, thanks for joining me for this game break. I'll see you next time.